Beneath the surface, the enigma of the dragon hole. In our ongoing journey through marine mysteries, having previously visited the deep Atlantic and the unresolved disappearance of the AR San Juan, we now venture into a completely different realm, one cloaked in silence and secrecy. Nestled in the South China Sea lies a phenomenon known as the dragon hole, Earth's most profound blue hole, descending over 1,000 feet into darkness. What truths might this abyss conceal in its shadowy embrace? Is it merely a fascinating geological site, or could it hold revelations beyond our current imagination? Let's submerge ourselves in the captivating tale of the dragon hole. Picture yourself adrift in the vast, shimmering expanse of the South China Sea. The surface glows with brilliant turquoise hues under the radiant sun, evoking a sense of peace. But hidden beneath this calm lies one of the planet's most enigmatic and hazardous locations, the Dragon Hole. Locally referred to as the Eye of the South China Sea, this gigantic marine sinkhole has intrigued and alarmed generations. This region of the world is not only rich in natural wonders, but also steeped in folklore. Scattered with isolated islands, dangerous coral reefs, and surreal underwater formations, it holds many secrets. Amid these lies the Dragon Hole, which stands out not only for its incredible depth, but also because of the ancient legends that surround it. For centuries, locals have whispered tales of spirits and dragons residing in its darkness, warning that the natural laws don't apply here. Mariners avoided its reach, and fishermen spoke of perilous currents, advising each other to keep their distance. Yet the Dragon Hole is no myth. It's a genuine natural marvel, a vast vertical cavern descending into the Earth's layers. Its opening is strikingly beautiful, a flawless ring of deep navy that sharply contrasts with the bright surrounding sea. But any sense of serenity vanishes the closer one gets. Currents around the hole shift unexpectedly, strong enough to pull in even the most seasoned seafarers. For generations, its depths remained unvisited, a black abyss left untouched, seemingly designed to consume both daring and discovery. That changed in 2016 when a team of Chinese scientists resolved to investigate this aquatic mystery. What they uncovered astonished experts and deepened the enigma, raising more questions than they could answer. In that same year, the Dragon Hole became the focal point for scientists determined to demystify it. The exploration was triggered by satellite images that captured a vast circular structure in the sea. Outfitted with high-tech sonar, diving systems, and remotely operated vehicles, ROVs, the researchers embarked on their mission. Reaching the site itself was an obstacle. Located near the contested Paracel Islands, the Dragon Hole presented both environmental and political challenges. Once the research vessel was positioned at a secure distance, the team began deploying their instruments to gauge the depth and scale of the hole. The results were astonishing. At 987 feet deep, the Dragon Hole surpassed the famous Dean's Blue Hole in the Bahamas, claiming the title of the world's deepest known blue hole. Its mouth stretched over 430 feet wide, resembling a perfectly shaped hatch etched into the ocean bed. However, the true puzzle lay below. The researchers lowered their ROV into the void, capturing visuals that were both spellbinding and eerie. The descent began in crystal clear waters, with fish gracefully moving near the entrance, oblivious to the dark void beneath them. At 300 feet, the sunlight started to fade. By the time they reached 500 feet, darkness engulfed the view, and the temperature plummeted. Here, conventional marine life could no longer survive. They identified a sharp transition in the water, known as a halocline, where the oxygen-rich surface water ceased to mix with the lower layers. This boundary created a lifeless, oxygen-free zone, rendering the deeper regions inhospitable. Despite these harsh conditions, the team ventured further. The ROV's lights illuminated jagged rock faces and layers of sediment, evidence of the hole's ancient formation. Unlike other blue holes which taper into gentle slopes, The dragon hole's base was fractured and uneven, hinting at possible underwater caves or channels. Such formations provoked questions. Were these shaped purely by nature, or could past seismic events, or even forgotten civilizations, have played a role? Near the upper layers, researchers found vivid marine life, colorful corals, and species unique to the area. But the deeper they went, the visuals became more desolate. When the ROV finally touched the bottom, the silence was unnerving, interrupted only by the mechanical whirring of their equipment. What they had discovered was more than a void. It was a vertical fossil, likely untouched for thousands or even millions of years. Its strange environment and structure made it a scientific treasure trove. Samples of water and sediment were retrieved, with hopes of unlocking clues about the dragon hole's history and its ecological role in the sea. Yet for all the progress, the hole remained unfathomable. Its great depth and isolation meant that many mysteries stayed unresolved. Could unknown life forms exist in its untouched corners? Might there be archaeological relics or secrets buried beneath centuries of sediment? The researchers left with more uncertainties than they had answers, and the dragon hole remained a silent sentinel of the sea. Beyond its physical dimensions, the dragon hole fuels speculation. It's inspired a wide array of theories, both scientific and fantastical. One prominent hypothesis suggests that it could serve as a natural archive of Earth's past. Blue holes are believed to form during ice ages when sea levels were drastically lower. As the seas rose, these vertical caves were submerged, preserving layers of ancient materials. Studying these can reveal climate changes, ocean transformations, and extinction events. Moreover, the strange separation between oxygenated and anoxic layers mimics conditions on early Earth. Researchers theorize that studying these areas could provide insight into the primitive oceans that gave rise to life. Could the dragon hole house unique microbes or chemicals that shed light on how life began? The idea is fascinating and could change what we understand about biology and planetary evolution. There are also geological curiosities. The uneven, broken floor and its hidden nooks suggest it might connect to broader subterranean systems. Could this be part of an extensive underwater tunnel network, possibly hiding rare minerals, fossils, or evidence of past earthquakes? Yet not all stories about the dragon hole belong to science. Its legend among the local fishing communities remains strong. Some believe it serves as a doorway to another dimension, a spiritual crossing between realms. Others warn it's cursed, recounting tales of people and vessels that disappeared near its pull. While there's no verified record of such incidents, the hazards of this sea, its sudden tempests and chaotic tides, are well known. One captivating theory is that ancient mariners might have considered the dragon hole significant. The South China Sea has been a major trade route for centuries. Could the hole have appeared on ancient navigation charts? Perhaps it was a ceremonial site or a sacred marker for early seafarers. Some even link it to Lemuria, the mythical sunken landmass akin to Atlantis. Though unproven, these ideas add another layer to the mystery. Then there's the sobering question: has the dragon hole claimed lives? Local folklore speaks of fishermen vanishing after drifting too near, their boats pulled into oblivion. Even if unconfirmed, the very real risks posed by the region's currents and storms make such stories plausible. In the end, the dragon hole defies simple explanation. With every discovery, new enigmas surface, reminding us how little we truly understand about the ocean's depths. It is not just a hole in the seafloor, it is a portal to mystery, a symbol of how much remains hidden on our blue planet. Despite advancements in marine technology, the dragon hole is still largely uncharted. Its extreme depth and remote location make exploration extremely difficult. Even the most sophisticated ROVs have only begun to glimpse its full story. What could lie in its lowest chambers? Might strange organisms thrive in the oxygen-deprived dark? Or could geological features unknown to science await discovery? Some researchers suggest that the Dragon Hole might belong to a network of underwater sinkholes linked by secret channels. If true, this could reshape our understanding of how oceans circulate nutrients and energy. Such a network could revolutionize marine science and underwater exploration. But perhaps its greatest significance isn't scientific. Standing at the edge of such a vast, lightless chasm, one can't help but feel awed and humbled. It's a place that reminds us of nature's overwhelming scale and the limits of human knowledge. To local communities, the Dragon Hole is not just a curiosity, it is sacred, feared, and revered. It represents the unknown, and perhaps even the unknowable. As scientists continue their quest, one truth remains. The Dragon Hole will always spark wonder, whether it's a record of Earth's earliest days, a supernatural doorway, or one of the most magnificent works of nature. It embodies the enduring allure of the unexplored. In an era where so much has already been charted, the Dragon Hole still whispers the call of discovery, and so it waits, motionless and silent, guarding its secrets in the deep, urging us to keep seeking, keep wondering, and remember, there is always more beneath the surface. Sunken Wonders, the secrets beneath Antikythera's waves. From the shadowy depths of the Dragon Hole, where secrets vanish beneath thousands of feet of ocean, we now sail to the sun-drenched waters of the Mediterranean, a place where, in the year 1900, a profound mystery emerged from the sea. At that time, the world stood on the edge of monumental change. The industrial age was in full swing, empires stretched their influence, and science made strides in unraveling the mysteries of nature. Yet below the Aegean Sea's calm surface, an ancient enigma lay buried, a time capsule preserved for over 2 millennia, untouched and forgotten. Surprisingly, its discovery wasn't the work of seasoned archaeologists or daring adventurers, but of modest sponge divers. For countless generations, the Aegean Sea has served as a vital lifeline for the people of Greece. Its island-filled waters have long fostered trade, exploration, and cultural exchange. However, the region is also known for its hazards: unpredictable weather, rugged coastlines, and hidden dangers. Beneath the surface lies a maritime graveyard, home to shipwrecks lost to storms or collisions, their valuable contents scattered across the ocean floor. One such site is the small, rocky island of Antikythera, situated between Crete and the Greek mainland. In the early 1900s, it was a remote, little-known outpost, largely ignored by the outside world. Yet for local sponge divers, the area was a workplace, one where their survival depended on navigating the dangerous seabed. Their occupation involved perilous dives over 100 feet deep, using primitive gear that offered scant protection from the ocean's crushing pressure and icy temperatures. On a fall day in 1900, a group of these divers set off on what seemed like a routine mission. Under the leadership of Captain Dimitrios Kondos, their ship dropped anchor near Antikythera. Among the crew was a young diver named Elias Stadiatos, the first to plunge into the depths that day. Unbeknownst to him, he was about to stumble upon one of archaeology's most astonishing finds. As Elias descended, the heavy diving suit tugged him downward into the growing gloom. The deeper he went, the more frigid and dark it became. When he finally reached the seabed, his eyes scanned the sand for sponges until something unusual caught his attention. Protruding from the seafloor were strange shapes, clearly crafted, not natural. At first glance, he thought he had come upon the remains of a sunken city with ruins laid out before him. But as he swam closer, it became evident this wasn't a city. It was the shattered hull of an ancient ship, its cargo strewn across the sea bottom. Breaching the surface, Elias cried out in shock, describing what he had seen. Initially, his fellow divers were doubtful. Tales of underwater cities and lost treasures belonged to myths, not real life. Yet when others submerged to investigate, they saw it too: columns, statues, pottery, and fragments of odd instruments, all lying silently beneath the waves. They couldn't yet grasp what they had discovered, but they sensed its significance. The divers began the painstaking and dangerous task of retrieving the wreck's contents. Risking their lives with every descent, they brought up artifacts that had remained untouched for hundreds of years. Their efforts would ultimately reshape how we perceive the ancient world. The remains of the ship lay roughly 150 feet beneath the surface, a staggering depth at the time, nearly unreachable with the basic diving technology of the era. Using rudimentary suits and surface-supplied air, the divers braved immense underwater pressure and the constant risk of decompression sickness, also known as the bends. Despite these life-threatening dangers, they pressed on, determined to uncover the secrets locked within the wreckage. As their work progressed, it became evident this was no ordinary sunken vessel. The site was a treasure trove: marble statues, bronze figurines, ceramic vessels, and glassware. Many of the statues were life-sized, representing gods, athletes, and mythical beings. Though some were broken or badly corroded, their exquisite detail revealed masterful craftsmanship, clear evidence of the brilliance of ancient Greek artists. Among the most remarkable finds was a bronze statue of a young man, later dubbed the Antikythera youth. Though coated in centuries of marine buildup, his elegant stance and finely molded features reflected the aesthetic grace of the Hellenistic era. Other sculptures portrayed legendary figures like Hermes and Hercules, further confirming the ship's cultural and artistic richness. But the cargo wasn't limited to fine art. Mixed among the treasures were mundane items, coins, dishes, and remnants of furniture. These objects provided vital clues about the people aboard, likely merchants, sailors, and affluent travelers crossing the Mediterranean. The coins pointed to the ship's origins in the eastern Mediterranean, possibly Asia Minor or Egypt, and hinted at a destination in Rome. The diversity of cargo suggested a vessel involved in trade or transporting luxury goods for elite patrons. The ship's route through the Mediterranean's heartland highlighted its role in a vast and vibrant commercial network. Still, questions remained. What caused the ship to sink? Was it overtaken by a sudden storm, or did it crash upon Antikythera's jagged shores? These mysteries remain unanswered, concealed beneath the waves. Then came the most puzzling object of all, a corroded lump of metal and wood. Initially mistaken for mere debris, it was slowly cleaned and examined. As the layers were removed, it revealed something extraordinary: gears, inscriptions, and mechanical components embedded within, a device unlike any known artifact from antiquity. This object, now called the Antikythera mechanism, would go on to fascinate and confound historians for over a century. It was an intricate assembly of gears and dials, apparently designed for astronomical purposes. Experts believe it could track planetary movements, predict eclipses, and even chart the timing of the ancient Olympic Games. Its discovery introduced a whole new chapter in the story of ancient science. How could technology of such sophistication have existed in classical Greece? Who crafted it, and for what purpose? The mechanism's complexity rivaled that of 18th century clockwork and wouldn't be equaled until thousands of years later. Its presence aboard the sunken ship raised profound questions about what knowledge the ancients possessed and what may have been lost through the ages. The Antikythera shipwreck, with its blend of art, mystery, and technology, remains one of the most groundbreaking archaeological finds ever made. It offers a rare and vivid snapshot of a civilization long vanished, revealing not just their artistry and ambition, but their deep interconnectedness across the Mediterranean. And yet, despite all we've uncovered, the wreck still harbors untold secrets, lying beneath the sapphire depths of the Aegean Sea. What more might this submerged world reveal? The answer, like the wreck itself, still rests silently below. Vanishing Beneath the Waves. The tragic fate of the AR San Juan. Following the rediscovery of the lost city of Heraklion, we're reminded that some enigmas lie hidden beneath the surface, waiting for the right time to emerge. Yet, not all tales from the ocean's depths belong to ancient times. Some are far more recent and, in many ways, even more heart-wrenching. While Heraklion eventually resurfaced after centuries lost to the sea, some tragedies offer no such return, only lingering uncertainties and painful silence. One such modern-day enigma is the disappearance of the Argentine submarine AR San Juan, a story not of ancient ruins, but of 44 crew members who set out on a routine patrol and never came home. What led to the AR San Juan's abrupt disappearance? Why did it take more than a year to discover what truly happened? As we move beyond the remnants of ancient Heraklion, we descend into the harrowing and unresolved mystery surrounding the AR San Juan and its fateful journey. On November 15, 2017, the AR San Juan, a diesel-electric submarine operated by the Argentine Navy, set sail on what should have been a standard patrol mission. It was among Argentina's most sophisticated submarines, a German-engineered TR-1700 class vessel built for endurance and deep-sea missions. Commissioned in 1985, the San Juan had served faithfully for over 30 years and had recently undergone a significant refurbishment intended to prolong its service life by several more decades. The submarine's task was clear-cut: patrol Argentina's sovereign waters, deter illegal fishing operations, and uphold naval visibility in the South Atlantic. The vessel was staffed with 44 highly capable sailors, a mix of seasoned veterans and skilled newcomers, all thoroughly prepared for the demanding world of submarine deployment. The South Atlantic, however, is a tough environment, cold, choppy, and notorious for erratic weather. Departing from Ushuaia, a city perched on the southernmost edge of Argentina, often nicknamed the end of the world, the San Juan headed north toward its home base in Mar del Plata, a major naval stronghold along the eastern coast. It was a route the submarine had traveled many times before. Everything appeared to be proceeding normally. That morning, November 15th, the submarine checked in with Naval Command, reporting both its position and a mission update. During this communication, the crew reported an electrical fault in the forward battery section. Seawater had leaked in through the snorkel, triggering a short circuit. Although potentially serious, the crew assured command that they had isolated the affected area and were continuing the voyage with everything under control. That would be the last message ever received from the AR San Juan. When the submarine missed its next scheduled communication, worry began to grow. Silent operation is standard procedure for submarines, making brief communication blackouts not uncommon. Still, as hours passed with no word, the Navy's concern grew into dread. The AR San Juan was formally declared missing, and an enormous search and rescue mission commenced. Loved ones of the sailors converged at Mar del Plata, hoping for any shred of news, while naval authorities launched an urgent operation to find the vessel. What followed was one of the largest submarine search missions in recorded history. Argentina sought aid from 18 other nations, including the United States, the United Kingdom, and Russia. These countries contributed their most advanced equipment, from cutting-edge sonar systems to deep-sea drones. But the ocean did not give up its secrets easily. The submarine had vanished somewhere in the turbulent, expansive waters near the San Jorge Gulf, an area characterized by plunging seabeds and underwater canyons. With immense depth, strong currents, and fierce weather, the area presented daunting challenges for any search team. Despite these obstacles, there was still cautious optimism. Submarines carry emergency air supplies that can sustain life for several days. If the crew had successfully sealed the damaged compartment and surfaced, they might still be alive. But hope gradually gave way to despair as days stretched into weeks. A chilling clue came from an international hydroacoustic monitoring organization, which detected a strange underwater sound on the same day the San Juan had gone silent. This noise, registered close to the submarine's last known coordinates, matched what scientists describe as an implosion. Such an event would indicate a catastrophic structural failure, the submarine's hull giving way under the crushing pressure of the deep sea. If this had occurred, it would have been instantaneous, leaving no opportunity for the crew to signal for help. Even with this grim possibility, the vessel's precise location remained unknown. Naval forces deployed sonar gear to comb the ocean floor, and aircraft continued to scan the region from above. Yet the San Juan had seemingly vanished without leaving a trace. Frustration among the sailors' families intensified. Many believed the Navy was withholding information or had mishandled the operation. Protests broke out, accusing authorities of ignoring safety warnings and using outdated equipment. The tragedy sparked a national outcry and scrutiny over Argentina's military preparedness. By late November, the nature of the mission had officially shifted. From rescue to recovery, the hope of finding survivors had faded. Now, the objective was to uncover what had happened to the missing submarine. But the ocean offered no quick answers. As time passed and the AR San Juan remained unfound, theories about its disappearance proliferated. Without solid evidence, speculation filled the void. Some theories were grounded in technical analysis, others leaned toward conjecture. A leading explanation centered around the electrical malfunction reported before the final transmission. The submarine's batteries were essential to its operations, and exposure to seawater posed serious risks. According to the last contact, water had leaked into the battery compartment via the snorkel. While the crew claimed to have controlled the situation, experts later speculated it may have been far worse. One credible theory is that the short circuit caused the generation of hydrogen gas, a volatile byproduct of malfunctioning lead-acid batteries. In a confined space like a battery room, even a small spark could ignite the gas, triggering a massive explosion. This would align with the acoustic signal resembling an implosion or underwater detonation. Another possibility involves structural failure. Submarines are engineered to withstand deep sea pressure, but the San Juan was more than 30 years old. Although it had undergone a major retrofit in 2014, critics questioned the quality and thoroughness of those upgrades. If the submarine descended below its safe depth limit, the external pressure could have crushed its hull instantly. Other theories considered external impacts. The region is heavily trafficked by commercial ships, fishing boats, and even foreign military submarines. Some hypothesized that the San Juan might have collided with another vessel or been struck by a torpedo or sea mine, though no hard evidence supports this idea. The most controversial suggestion is that the San Juan was covertly monitoring illegal fishing or foreign military activity. Some suspect it encountered a hostile force and was attacked. The Argentine Navy has denied these claims, but the secrecy surrounding the mission has only fueled conspiracy theories. Perhaps the most sobering theory is the simplest. The submarine was overwhelmed by the harsh, merciless environment of the open sea. A convergence of mechanical failure, human miscalculation, and natural elements may have created a perfect storm that doomed the vessel. The absence of immediate answers only compounded the anguish of families and experts alike. For over a year, the AR San Juan remained hidden beneath the waves. Though international efforts were exhaustive, the challenges of the deep ocean were immense. By late 2018, many feared the submarine would never be found. But in November 2018, there was finally a breakthrough. The Argentine government had contracted a private firm, Ocean Infinity, to continue the search using more advanced equipment. Their vessel, the Seabed Constructor, carried state-of-the-art autonomous underwater vehicles, AUVs, robots capable of operating in extreme depths and mapping the ocean floor with unmatched precision. On November 17, 2018, almost exactly 1 year after the San Juan disappeared, Ocean Infinity made a haunting discovery. Over 3,000 feet beneath the surface, In a previously searched but incompletely mapped area, they found the wreck. The images sent back revealed a devastating scene. The submarine's hull was crushed, fragmented, and strewn across the ocean floor. The nature of the wreckage confirmed a catastrophic implosion. The vessel had succumbed to overwhelming pressure within hours of its final contact. For the families of the 44 crew members, the discovery was bittersweet. After a year of agony and waiting, they finally had some closure, but the sight of the shattered wreckage was a sobering reminder of the loss. Many relatives expressed outrage at the Navy, blaming it for negligence, mismanagement, and lack of transparency. The tragedy sparked public demand for reform in Argentina's naval forces, calls for better oversight, modernized equipment, and clearer accountability. The recovery of the AR San Juan underscored how challenging and perilous submarine missions can be. The submarine had vanished in one of the planet's most remote and inhospitable regions, cold, dark, and thousands of feet underwater. Its recovery was a remarkable technical feat. Yet even with the wreck located, many questions remain. What exactly caused the implosion? Could it have been averted? What lessons must be learned to prevent another disaster? The AR San Juan rests on the seafloor, a haunting testament to the perils of the deep and the fragility of human endeavor against the might of the sea. Its story remains one of the most somber and powerful in modern naval history, a reminder that the ocean, for all its beauty and mystery, holds tragedies that time cannot erase. Vanishing at Sea, the Enigma of the Mary Celeste. The account of the ill-fated vessel, known as the Mary Celeste, serves as a chilling reminder that the ocean is both a vast memorial and a time capsule, preserving fragments of our past while concealing untold enigmas. It houses remnants of long-lost civilizations, obscured innovations, and traces of lives long gone. Yet, on rare occasions, the sea's riddles are not buried under layers of sediment. They are eerily suspended in time, prompting haunting questions. In the year 1872, a ship by the name of the Mary Celeste was found drifting without direction in the Atlantic Ocean. Her sails hung loosely, some still rigged. Her cargo remained undisturbed and supplies were amply stocked. But of the crew, there was no sign, no human remains, no visible struggle, only an unmanned vessel gliding silently through the ocean swells. The vanishing of the Mary Celeste's passengers and crew continues to perplex maritime historians, standing as one of the most unnerving seabound mysteries of all time. Let's revisit the beginnings of this mysterious tale. Initially, the Mary Celeste was not a ship one would expect to become legendary. She was an unassuming brigantine, crafted more for utility than prestige. Measuring slightly over 100 feet in length and about 25 feet in width, she was neither opulent nor exceptional among the many merchant ships navigating the seas in the 1800s. Despite her modest appearance, the Mary Celeste was durable, a robust, dual-masted cargo carrier engineered to withstand perilous sea journeys. Originally christened as the Amazon in Nova Scotia in 1861, she had already endured numerous hardships prior to the fateful incident that etched her name into nautical lore. During her maiden voyage, the Amazon sustained damage and needed repairs. In the years that followed, the ship changed hands multiple times, encountering a string of unfortunate events that hinted at a streak of ill luck. By 1867, she had run aground during a tempest near Cape Breton Island. The vessel was left damaged and deserted, later salvaged, sold off at auction, and renamed the Mary Celeste. Whether the renaming aimed to banish the ship's ill fortune or to mark a new beginning is unclear, but if the goal was to reverse her luck, it did not succeed. Fast forward to 1872. Now under the leadership of Captain Benjamin Briggs, the Mary Celeste was in experienced hands. Briggs, unlike the ship's grim past, was an exemplary mariner with decades of experience navigating the often mercurial Atlantic. He was methodical and meticulous, in every aspect of his voyages, and he earned admiration for his composed nature and sound decision-making. He ran a disciplined operation and had little tolerance for recklessness at sea. But this voyage was not just another assignment for Captain Briggs, it held personal meaning. Accompanying the carefully selected crew of 7 men were his wife Sarah and their 2-year-old daughter Sophia. While it was uncommon for captains to bring their families on commercial journeys, Briggs, a man of deep faith and family values, chose to make this trip a shared one. The voyage to Genoa, Italy, was part family reunion, part business expedition. Departing from New York Harbor on November 7, 1872, the Mary Celeste was transporting 1,701 barrels of industrial alcohol. This was no drinking spirit. It was flammable, unstable, and mostly used in factories and industrial processes. Handling it demanded vigilance and caution. But for Captain Briggs, it was just another logistical detail to manage. Initially, the Atlantic crossing appeared smooth. November weather, though unpredictable, remained manageable, and the ship's log showed consistent progress eastward. The crew carried out their duties with care. The Briggs family settled into their cabin. Everything appeared to be going according to plan. But as the vessel neared the Azores, something shifted. Even today, what exactly unfolded aboard the Mary Celeste in those final days remains a complete mystery. Did a sudden storm arise? Was a rogue wave responsible? Or did something even more bizarre take place? All we know for certain is this. When the Mary Celeste was found, she was intact, but entirely deserted. On December 4, 1872, the British brigantine Dei Gratia was sailing the Atlantic on a route from New York to Gibraltar. Like the Mary Celeste, she was a merchant ship, but her journey had commenced weeks later, meaning she trailed behind Briggs's ship by several hundred miles. Captain David Morehouse of the Dei Gratia was a veteran seaman, well acquainted with the unpredictable Atlantic. That morning, as the Dei Gratia approached the Azores, Morehouse and his crew noticed an odd sight in the distance, a ship wandering aimlessly. Its sails were slack and misaligned, and it appeared to drift more from ocean currents than human control. At first, Morehouse assumed the ship was in trouble, a not uncommon situation in an age when violent storms and maritime accidents often doomed vessels. But as the Dei Gratia drew closer, it became evident that something was very wrong. Through his spyglass, Morehouse observed no one on the deck, no distress flags, no visible movement. The ship's name, Mary Celeste, was painted on her stern. Morehouse was stunned. He knew Captain Briggs personally. The 2 men had even dined together before their respective voyages, which had departed the same port within mere days of one another. And now, the Mary Celeste appeared deserted and adrift. Fearing something had gone terribly wrong, Morehouse dispatched a small team to investigate. 2 of his crew rowed over and climbed aboard the silent ship. What they discovered would perplex and disturb investigators for generations. The vessel was enveloped in a haunting stillness. The only noises were the creaking timbers and the soft slap of waves against the hull. Inside, the ship was almost untouched. Barrels of salted meat, fresh water, and other supplies remained undisturbed, enough to sustain the crew for months. The personal effects of the Briggs family and crew, from clothes to little Sophia's toys, were still in place. Even valuables like gold coins and navigational instruments had been left behind. As for the cargo, 1,701 barrels of industrial alcohol, nearly all were accounted for. Only 9 were empty. This would later become a key clue in various theories. The ship's log, found in Briggs' quarters, listed their last known position as of November 25th, near the Azores. The entry was routine, weather, coordinates, nothing unusual, but the lifeboat was missing, indicating the crew had voluntarily abandoned the ship. Why? The Mary Celeste was still seaworthy. No visible signs of fire, flooding, or violence were present. It appeared the ship had been vacated in haste, but the motivation remained elusive. Those who boarded the ship couldn't escape the eerie impression that time had stopped. Everything remained where it should be, except the people. The Mary Celeste was eventually towed to Gibraltar for formal investigation, but the mystery was only beginning. What followed was over a century of intense speculation, investigation, and debate. How could a ship in good condition, fully stocked, be found deserted in open ocean? What force, natural or otherwise, could have convinced a seasoned captain like Briggs to abandon ship with his family and crew? To answer these questions, let's explore the possible explanations, ranging from scientific to speculative. One of the most straightforward theories is that some natural calamity compelled the crew to flee. A common suggestion involves rogue waves, massive walls of water triggered by unpredictable currents or sudden weather changes. A rogue wave might have flooded the deck, inciting panic and prompting the crew to launch the lifeboat. Another possibility, a waterspout, a type of tornado occurring over water, could have generated fierce winds and rain, making the situation seem perilous. The crew may have evacuated with the intent to return once the threat passed. Then there's the cargo theory. Industrial alcohol is highly flammable. Of the 1,601 barrels, 9 were found empty. Some speculate that fumes from leaking barrels may have filled the cargo hold. A minor spark or sudden burst of fire might have startled the crew. Tests conducted in the 2000s showed that alcohol vapor explosions in confined spaces could cause significant noise and pressure without leaving visible damage, supporting the idea that an explosive scare caused a rapid evacuation. Still, if the crew fled in a lifeboat, why didn't they return? Another theory revolves around internal conflict. Could a mutiny have taken place? Historically, disputes at sea have led to many shipboard crises. But the Mary Celeste showed no evidence of a fight. Valuables were untouched, and there were no bloodstains or signs of chaos. Likewise, piracy has been proposed, but this seems improbable. Pirates typically loot their targets, and by the 1870s, piracy in the Atlantic had dwindled significantly. Then come the paranormal explanations. Some suggest the crew was abducted by aliens. Others believe a supernatural force, a ghost, a curse, may have driven the crew to madness or death. Although most experts dismiss these ideas, they continue to inspire storytellers and theorists alike. The Mary Celeste has even been linked to the Bermuda Triangle, despite having been discovered far from its reach. A more grounded theory suggests that a sequence of small problems snowballed into a crisis. Perhaps the ship's pump malfunctioned, giving the false impression it was taking on water. Combine that with rough seas, leaking alcohol fumes, or a fire scare, and Captain Briggs might have feared for everyone's safety. The missing lifeboat implies the crew evacuated, but the ocean is a treacherous place for small craft. A sudden storm, strong currents, or even dehydration might have doomed the lifeboat's occupants. If this is the true story, it was a tragic mistake born from fear. Since the Mary Celeste was discovered, modern forensics, meteorological data, and ship design analyses have offered partial insights, but never full answers. Every clue deepens the enigma. Why was a perfectly sound vessel abandoned? Even her later years were marred by misfortune. After being recovered, the ship returned to commercial use under new ownership. But her reputation as a cursed vessel persisted. In 1885, she was intentionally wrecked near Haiti in a suspected insurance scam, marking the end of her troubled life at sea. Yet the legend of the Mary Celeste lives on. It has inspired novels, films, and endless discussions. The mystery endures because it touches something deeper, our fear of the unknown and the ocean's immense, untamed power. The Mary Celeste isn't just a ghost ship. She's a symbol, a reminder that despite all our advancements, The sea still guards secrets it may never reveal. Was the disappearance caused by natural forces, human error, or something beyond explanation? Like her missing crew, the truth remains swallowed by the waves. What's your theory? Do you think it was panic in a moment of danger, or something darker? Share your thoughts in the comments.